Alright, so this is the index laws bit of the revision booklet. Okay, let's start off. We've got m to the power of 5 divided by m to the power of 3. We're going to be subtracting our powers, so that's going to be m squared. Okay. For this next section, we can rewrite this. There's time signs between all of our letters and our numbers, so it's like doing 5 times x to the power of 4 times y to the power of 3 times x squared times y. Multiplication being commutative, we can change the order and still get the same results, so we can connect our y's together. Y to the power of 3 times y will be y to the power of 4. And our x's, x to the power of 4 times x squared, that's going to be x to the power of 6. And a 5, well, we've only got one big number, so that's going to stay as a 5. 5, x to the power of 6, y to the power of 4. Okay. Question 2, we've got to write these numbers in order of size. 5 to the minus 1, that's the reciprocal, so that's like 1/5, which is 0.2. Then we can compare that with 0.5 and minus 5. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. So if we're doing in size order, starting with the smallest, that's our negative. Then 0.2, 0.5, and 1. So that's 5, minus 5, that one's 5 to the minus 1, and this one is 5 to the power of 0. Write down the value of 125 to the power of 2/3. So it's a fractional indices. We're going to root. It's going to be the cube root because that's the denominator, and then we'll square our answer. So we could rewrite this as the cube root of 125 squared. Cube root of 125 is 5, so 5 squared is 25. Write down a value of 10 to the minus 1. Well, reciprocal again, so it's 1/10. Okay, again, 27 to the power of a third. We're looking for the cubed root of 27, which is 3. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. Find the value of 2 to the power of minus 3, reciprocal, so we're going to write this as 1 over 2 to the power of 3. Powers become positive now. And then 2 cubed is 8, so our final answer will be 1/8. We have quite literally just had that question up there, didn't notice that one, so that's 3 again. And then reciprocal again because it's a negative power, and because it's fraction we're going to be doing square root because there's a 2 at the bottom. So we can rewrite this as 1 over the square root of 25, which is 1/5. Okay, just a fractional power, so it's half, so that means we're going to be square rooting. Square root of 64 is 8. Then, again, we've got a fractional power. Now, because we've got a fraction in here, and this is negative, sorry about that, I went dark, and because it's negative, it means we'll have to reciprocal. When it's a fraction and it's a reciprocal, we just flip. So we can rewrite this straight off as 125 over 8, all to the power of 2/3. Because we've got a denominator of 3, we're going to cube root 125 and we're going to cube root 8. So we can write that as and then we're going to square each of those things. The cube root of 125 is 5, so we end up with 5 squared. The cube root of 8 is 2. So we've got 5 squared over 2 squared, which is going to be 25 over 4. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. And then finally, we've got work out 64 to the minus 2/3. So minus, it's a reciprocal again, so that's going to become 1 over 64. to the power of 2/3. Fraction indices, we're going to find cube root. And then square that. The cube root of 64 is 4. 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. And we're going to have to square that, so we end up with 1/16. Notice I didn't bother trying to turn anything into decimals unless it was for that comparison question. You don't need to.